Well, hello everyone. This is Carrie back with FamilyEbiz, and I am so excited today to be here with Dan Morris with BC Stack. Welcome, Dan.
Hey, how are you?
Fine. Let me fix the view thing so we just have speaker view.
I see you're at.
Okay, as people join, and then that means I got to get the chat and pay attention to the chat, which don't always really good. Okay, so technology is great when it works. Anyway, welcome. Thank you for coming. Let's just go ahead and get started. Why don't you tell our viewers a little bit about yourself, and then we can talk about growing our businesses.
All right. I like the idea of growing a business. I guess that'd be part of telling you about myself. I run a company called Audience Industries, and we have traditionally done 8-hour workshops about digital marketing, in-person workshops around the world. We also run findingjoy.net, which my wife Rachel runs. It's a motherhood site. It's got about 700,000 fans on Facebook.
Wow.
She's got a Penguin Random House deal, and she got on Today Show for her site. And, it's a pretty good little thing that we got going over there. And then we do this project every year. Well, we do it many times a year for different clients and stuff. But for us, we do this project called BC Stack, which is business courses. It's kind of like a stack of business courses. And for us, just from an entrepreneur standpoint, we're hoping that at someday that the project actually becomes big enough that it could be that we get to that point where you can work, 4 months out of the year, and that ends up being income. Because with entrepreneurship, unlike the way that we grew up, there isn't really like a retirement. There's no. It's almost like either you plan really, really well in advance, or you work till you die. I think that's the idea. So it's not like the old days where you could retire at 55 and live off of the Chrysler pension for 40 years. That doesn't really, that's not part of our current mindset. And I don't think our even kids, anybody's kids on this that are listening, I don't think they grew up with that idea. So we're trying to do as many things as we could do, because when we got married, we became a family of 13. We have 11 kids. So we're trying to figure out how to be like the best parents that we can be and make money. Because, when I grew up, my dad was military. And I remember pretty much every day, like 5:15, he would get home, go inside, take off his uniform, and then we'd play basketball. Like my memory is like we'd just play basketball till bedtime. And as an entrepreneur, that's not quite an option. Like, I don't know how it's not an option, but I certainly can't just play basketball every day for 4 hours with the kids. You got business on the mind all the time. So I'm trying to get back to the point where my dad was, where I have lots of extra time to be a dad and play with the kids. So that's our hope, is to make this product so cool and useful that everyone just wants it, and that'll give me more time to hang out with the kids.
That's awesome. So I know you and I met about the time we were at a blogging conference, I think on the beach. It was the beach something. I don't really remember the name of it.
You're still there.
What? Yeah, I didn't think about that. Yes, I'm still at the beach. Anyway, we met back then, and it was probably about the same time that y'all were starting BC Stack. And so
Yep.
could you just let our viewers know a little bit? I mean, I love your ideas about entrepreneurship, and that is so true. When you're an entrepreneur, you don't have a retirement fund and all this stuff. So we've got to come up with some recurring ways to make money as well. So I know BC Stack has grown. We were looking at the old website from like 2014 a few days ago. And I was like, oh my goodness, it has changed a lot. So could you tell us a little bit about, how did this get started? What sort of encouraged you to create BC Stack?
Well, the general concept is, on our travels around the world doing different workshops, it became very clear to us that ideas, the way that you should do things as a business, somehow we become isolated to new ideas. For instance, it became really clear when people in the room in New Zealand didn't know who Gary Vaynerchuk was.
Wow.
And I was thinking to myself, how strange is that, that he's such a prominent figure here in our world? How could he not be there? Like, how are they not part of the same Facebook groups and stuff? Um, so that was one thing. And then another thing was, um, I was helping someone at lunch at a conference there with their WordPress site because they just asked me to look at something, and they had totally different plugins. Like we have Yoast, like everybody here uses the same
Wow.
plugins. And I thought, now that's interesting. How do they have different plugins? Why are these cool ones? Why do we not know about them? So on the way home, we just thought, you know what we should do? There's like a product inside of this. Like, how could we marry the experts and knowledge we learned there with our audience and the experts and knowledge we have here with their audience? Like, how could we combine these so that everyone kind of gets out of the ancestral Facebook world where everybody answers the same questions with the same answers?
Mm-hmm.
But because not everybody's doing things the same way at all. So we thought, you know, like a summit would be good, but a summit means you got to show up at Tuesday at 6. And if you don't take notes, you don't leave with anything. So we thought, what about a product summit? What if we took a product from all the different entrepreneurs, the experts, and we put them together in one stack of products? And then we sold that stack to everyone's audience. So everyone got to meet everyone else. You know, the people in New Zealand could get the products from the people here and vice versa. So that was the original kind of idea. But then, you know, we ran across stumbling blocks. Like, how do we convince people to give us their product? And then we thought, all right, well, this is what we'll do. The experts are trying to grow an audience. So we'll make it so that when all the people who buy can become part of their audience, so the experts can grow an audience. And the end user, they just want great products. So when they buy it, they get great products. And then at some point in time, we added affiliates. So that was entrepreneurs who've created their own audiences and their own sphere of influence. And they are looking for ways to monetize their world. Like, how do they raise their kids? What money do they use? And affiliate income is a great source of income. So affiliates, they come and they promote the stack. And that makes money for their families. And it helps all of the people in their audience because they also get to introduce to all these experts and all these courses. So it ended up being this win-win-win product where affiliates win because they get paid for their families, contributors win because they grow a new audience, and end users win because they get 65 products that they couldn't get before. Like, for most people, unless you have a big budget, there's no way to buy $12,000 worth of products. It's just not feasible, especially in our world, like in the blogging world where people are kind of doing it as a side hobby. Mm-hmm. You know, you have family considerations. Like, how much money do you put into the business versus how much money do you use for the family? So if you end up just buying course after course after course and money just keeps going out, that can cause stress in the family until money starts coming in. You know? So for us, the idea of taking all of these unbelievable courses that most people would like to buy and put them together for only $47, you know, $47, and then you can go in Dropbox, which is what I do, and I have folders for everything: email folder, email marketing, email automation, Facebook groups, like every trade and skill that we have to know. I've got like a little folder for it. And if I get the stack, then I put the appropriate stuff in the appropriate folder. If Carrie writes something really cool about how to grow a Facebook group on Facebook, I screenshot it and I drag that into the Facebook group folder. And then a year from now, when you're thinking about maybe doing a big summit for your niche, and you're like, all right, well, how do I do that? You can just go to your resources, your Dropbox folder, and you find inside of Stack are templates like workbooks, notebooks, journals. You know, to make money on a summit, you invite everyone for free, but then you ask them, you know, for $7, would you like to buy the accompanying journal? You know, and a lot of people will make $35,000, $40,000 from that. Well, in this year's Stack, we give you all the tools to make those kinds of merchandise things so that you can monetize your summit. And while you might buy it now and not use it for another year, you'll have it. You'll have those tools in order to make those, you know, money for them, those kinds of things.
Oh, I love that. I love the story too about New England and America and just joining people around the world. And then I've watched you because I've been able to be a contributor and affiliate the last few years. And it really is a win-win for me but also affiliate marketing. Like you're mentioning that, I was looking at my income statement and I found out 31% of my income from last year came from affiliate marketing. And I used to think I was a bad affiliate marketing. I just didn't make money, but just working through some systems and using courses like the ones in BC Stack have really helped me be able to grow. So I see it as an investment in my business. And for $47, most of the courses are usually $100 or more just by themselves, you know?
Oh yeah. Yeah. In fact, I think there's only two things that are valued less than the price of Stack, and one of them was $10. Now, when I start on the Stack every year, my goal is to find 110 products that I want to put in. And I go after the people and I try to line up 110 people that will include their product. Well, over the months, I get messages like, I decided not to do this business anymore, or I just ran out of time, or I'm not going to be able to contribute. So my 110 slowly gets whittled down to about 70, which is perfect, right? I figured it out over the years. If I start with 110, I end up with 70 great products. Well, this year, I went and asked everybody, would you create a new product for BC Stack this year? Like brand new. Or if you already had a product, would you consider launching it with the Stack? Because everybody who's creating products now is creating them with the post-COVID mindset, whatever that means. But it will be integrated into a product, which will make it fresher and more and new, you know? Because you can watch TV shows, you know which ones were filmed prior to COVID. So I think whatever that would be, will be actually in the new products. That would make them fresher, make them more real, make them more relevant to today's world, which is, you know, slightly different than it was a couple years ago. And I end up, because everybody was excited about creating their products, I started with 110, I ended up with 90. I was like, 90? I can't put 90 products in Stack. That is crazy. There's so many. So I started whittling through, and some of them were a little bit thin. Like, this is not quite Stack quality. So, you know, those would get chucked out. And then I ran across a product that was valued at $10. And I thought, all right, well, this is an easy kick out. But I decided to take a look at it. I always take a look. And the product is in the Stack. It's called How to Choose Stock Photos for Your Brand. And I'm like, I don't know about this. This is such a specific, tiny thing. And it's worth $10. Like, why would you pay 47? Because, you know, my idea the entire time is, if I wouldn't be willing to pay 47 for each item, then like, why would it be in there? Everything has to be at least that. So I started looking at it, and I realized that the creators of this product maybe hadn't considered the word style guide for the name of their product. Because it's called How to Pick Out Stock Photos, but what it ends up being is an amazing guide on how to create a style guide for your business, which is something, if you hire an advertising firm, they will create one for you, like the first priority. That's the first thing they will create. So I thought it was such a cool product that they undervalued for themselves, and they didn't title it the way I would have titled it. But we included it because I think even at $10, you definitely need to figure that part of your business out. And they did a tremendous job on that.
Wow. That is great. I know. And really, most of the items are more than the 47, but I have run across so many people that undercut their prices. And I just want to go, there's so much value in here. You need to reconsider that. So, well, BC Stack has a bunch of, you know, levels of things, and some of our people are brand new. So they're like, oh, this is for me. So is it just for newbies, or would you be able, what if people already have a blog? Are there going to be things in there that would be helpful to build their business?
So I would say that there are two specific products for beginners, like how to get your business, your digital business going, or your online business going. But after that, there isn't a huge difference between the needs of a newbie and the needs of an expert. Now, when we go through the Stack in the Facebook group after it closes, we always talk about, like, there's three levels of business. There's the very beginning, which is, do you have your foundation? Do you have a website? Do you have an email, management system? Do you have an idea for how you're going to monetize? Do you have a product? Are you going to do ads? Like, you have your basics. So those people, there's a couple of great products if you're at that level. But those people also need to even understand, like how to create the lead magnets, how to create the email marketing. Like, how does that all work? You can't just know it exists. You still have to learn how to use it. And then the second level is, okay, you've got those things in place, and you've got content out there, and you're on the social media, and you're doing this stuff, and maybe you're making a little bit of money, right? But it's not consistent, reliable money that you could retire on and know it's going to keep coming. So that would be the second level. And I would say that's most people, and that's most of the products. And then if you're expert level, you're making reliable income, like you know it's coming, it's a real business. It's not just every week you're doing a product launch because you need more money, and if you don't do a product launch, nothing comes. It's not like that. So if you're at that level, I would say that there are 3 or 4 very specific things that are well worth your time. Pamela Rucker, who's a Harvard professor who approached me and asked me if she could include her product, Why Smart Leaders Fail, in the stack. And it is an unbelievable idea about assessing your own tendencies and how to be successful despite your tendencies, how to figure out what they are and then use them to your advantage, or realize that you need to outsource around them. Like, if you're going to be a really smart leader, make sure you have smart people around you, right? So it's that kind of a concept. And there's also Connie Reagan Green's entropy, which is a word I even had to look up in the dictionary when she gave it to me. I was like, what does that even mean? So I think, but for experts, the most important thing is, if you rest on your laurels, if you think that you've got everything going right, you've got your email marketing right, you've got your website right, and you don't take advantage of the stack, then you won't see the guy from Indonesia who's writing the email marketing program, and you won't see the mindset that goes into how does he do email marketing there. And you won't ever have that aha moment of, holy mackerel, why did I not ever think of that? Or even better yet, I've never understood why that works. I just do it and I know it works, but I didn't understand why, which means then you can replicate it in other parts of your business. So everything in there, even if you know how to do it and you're doing it, if you can finally look at it from somebody else's point of view, you are definitely going to find something that you can fix in your business that you didn't even know was wrong. Improve something. Maybe you find something is working. You didn't even know why it was working, but now, this lady from South Africa tells you why it's working. And all of a sudden you realize, wow, if that's the way it works here, I'm going to fix that on YouTube, all that stuff. So for me, if you're planning to be in the digital marketing world for the next 2 years, then Stack is a great resource for you, because it's all kinds of viewpoints about all kind of aspects of our world. And it's not something that I would think you should overlook if you're really serious about what you're doing.
That's so true. I was just talking to our group in an email today saying, if you invest in the stack for $47 and you take just one idea and you make $100, which isn't a whole bunch of money, but you make $100, you've already paid it back and you already start to make profit. And that was just one idea from one resource. So
you definitely have to make all business decisions on, is the expense going to have a corresponding revenue? So
yeah, exactly. Well, I appreciate you also mentioning the leadership. Like, you've had a lot more time to look at all the resources, and I'm just digging into them now. And the Smart Leader one was one I really want to look into, because I teach a leadership course for homeschool moms, and I'd like to just see what she has out there. So sometimes it's things that aren't necessarily going to build my business, but they may help me in my niche market as well. So that was awesome.
So there are 3 courses that, like, for some reason every year I find 3 that I'm definitely going to be using. The first one was Crystal Profits, How to Build a Podcast Website. So, for me, I have a podcast. I have 2 podcasts, but the one that I'm really intrigued about, I think, did I lose you there?
Oh, I'm still here. Do you see me?
Oh, I did, but I just saw
Jan. I've been muting people as they come in to make sure that we can hear you. So
So I have this podcast called Tracing the Path, which for homeschoolers mostly take advantage of it at the moment. If you remember the days of Paul Harvey and Charles Kuralt, I tell stories from the 20th century that that would blow your mind. Like, I don't know if you know this, but Paul Harvey had a hunch in 1941 that something was going on in Hawaii. He didn't know what was going on in Hawaii, but he convinced his radio station and the local newspaper in Kansas to fund him going to Hawaii to investigate what was going on, because he kept seeing reports of the government moving fleets and boats and ships over to Hawaii. So he spent 6 months in Hawaii trying to figure out what was going on. And on December 5th, 1941, he decided that nothing was going on and it was time to go home. So he got on a boat. He got on a boat and came back to the United States. And on the boat with him was a young athlete named Jackie Robinson. Jackie Robinson was nobody at the time, but he had been playing football, not baseball, for a team in Hawaii. Two of them were on the same boat on the way back from Hawaii 2 days before Pearl Harbor, which is just crazy, But anyway, I tell all these stories. And so when I saw her product about how to make a podcast website, because it's been a hobby up until now, I thought, you know what? I'm going to make it serious this year. I'm actually going to figure out what makes a podcast website different. How could I make mine really good? So that was my first thing. Like, immediately was attracted to that. And then the second thing was Chelsea Clark out of Australia. She is a master website domain flipper. She knows how to bring a website, get it a bunch of traffic, and then sell it. Well, as most of us do, we start in one niche and then we move to another niche, and then we have this website that's just sort of hanging out there that nobody's working on. And I have one of those. I have a website that I haven't worked on for like 5 years. It's just there. So I thought, you know what? That is an asset that's just sitting there. I'm actually going to turn that into money this year. I'm going to take that course. I'm going to figure out what I have to do to get that thing up to speed, and then I'm going to sell that. So that was my second. And then the third is quiz funnels. We had a client on YouTube 3 or 4 years ago in the fitness industry. He was making $60,000 a month from a quiz funnel. He taught fitness. He taught you how to have either a bodybuilder body or a beach ready body or a superhero body. He had 3 things, and he had this quiz, and he asked you different questions, and it took you down a path, and it landed you on the course that gave you the kind of body that you just answered questions that you want. And he made money that way. If you wanted the bodybuilder body, here's the program. Here's where you can buy it. It tells you nutrition. It tells you, for a year what all your workouts should be. And just that idea that a customer would come to your site and then take themselves to a product that would satisfy their needs, and then you would make money. I just thought that's got to be in the stack. I love quiz funnels. So those are my 3 favorites anyway. You didn't ask, but I thought I'd tell you.
Well, I was going to, but I really like podcast has been on my to-do list for about a year. I still haven't done it because I've had 2 brand new summits, and so I've been working on those. But I'm really hoping by 2022, I've at least started my podcast. But I mean, I just think that's great, and I'm glad to hear there's a course in there, because there's so much good stuff. I haven't even had a chance to like sift through all of it. And as I told my group earlier, I said I will be back tomorrow or Thursday, and I will have my favorites, and I'll tell you why I think they are. So I appreciate you sharing those, Dan.
Wow.
So I know we had some problems yesterday. You had a little family emergency, and we've talked about that. And you said that you've got a surprise bonus for our group. So I was going to ask you to tell them about that.
Well, I'm not a big fan of disappointing people. So the idea that I had to cancel our call, that made me sad, because I hate reneging on things that I agree to. So to try to put a Band-Aid on that, like, how many things do you do? Like, what can you do? Like, what if I offer a bonus, like, just because, to say sorry for the people that planned on it, and then they just have nothing to do. That was their plan. So I have a 30-minute video on affiliate marketing. And the reason that I think that that you should watch this is because Ricky Shetty. Ricky is he's a marketer in Vancouver who decided to travel the world with his family, and he's in the Philippines right now. And they pretty much only work online. In fact, they only work online, not pretty much. And in order to do that, he had to figure out, how do I create income every month? Like, what if something happens and I'm stuck in Colombia and I don't have Wi-Fi? How do I have income that month? So he used the stack. We have a 2-tier affiliate system. That means that there are affiliates who will promote BC Stack and they'll make 50% of the price. So every time someone buys it, they make $23.50. And then we have got a bunch of bonuses to like incentivize them to do more. But if one of those people who bought the stack then decides to become an affiliate too, well, that's 2 tiers. So now if Ricky sold one, he would make $23.50. But if the person underneath him sells one, he gets 10% of that, which is $2.35, which is tiny. But last year, after the stack, we sent him $5,000 in 2nd-tier commissions. So that's what he made on all the people that he helped bring to the stack who promoted. He made 10% of whatever they made. And what's important about that is that all year, no matter where Ricky is, if he meets somebody who's got an audience or something like that, he sends me their name. And he says, hey, Dan, this person's got a great audience. They'd be a great affiliate for Stack. Could you reach out and then sign them up underneath me? This is what I do. So all year he's thinking about his June income because, well, and October, because we do one in October too. But so in June, like next week, next Monday, he's going to get a check for affiliate. Now, I haven't heard from him in many, many months. And he's not promoting the stack right now because I think he's in a village that doesn't have Wi-Fi. But he set himself up so that he's going to get paid this month. And he's going to get paid in October. And then he figures out through the year different projects so that each month he's got money coming. So we talk about in this video that we're giving you is both sides of the equation. How do you create a product where you use affiliates to market it? And how do you do affiliate marketing effectively so that you can make money from that process? So that was just to say, I think there's a workbook that goes with it, but just to say, sorry for missing the call yesterday, but I thought maybe that would be helpful.
Thank you so much. I know it will be helpful. And we'll put the link in the FamilyEbiz Facebook group so everyone can go and get that as well. And, you know, I've even offered to y'all, I'll put this in the Facebook group too. If you decide you want to share BC Stack with your group, just think 50%. That means if 2 people buy it, then you've made your money back also. And so
Yeah.
it only takes 2 sales and you break even, and then you start making profit from your affiliate sales. And I know I made profit last May, like a month ago, just from the pre-buy promotion that Dan offered as well.
Sure.
So I'll put the links to, if you want to sign up as an affiliate, there's still time the rest of the week, and I'd be happy to help you come up with some sort of promotional plan as well. So
we will have over 200 people sign up to be an affiliate today.
wow, that's amazing. That's awesome. So, and some are saying no apology needed. Family is important, but thank you. And I want to say one thing. I just appreciate your attitude as far as you have brought family in, and the name of the company is FamilyEbiz, because we really believe family is important. And a lot of times when our kids were growing up, we all worked together at times. We homeschooled. And so they did different things. They learned how to do bookkeeping and all that kind of stuff. But family is important, but yet we still have to make money to support that family.
Yeah.
So I appreciate your priorities as you shared those today.
Yes. Oh, no problem.
So, and then I was just going to say too, in case y'all have missed it somehow, anyone that does use my link to actually get BC Stack this year, I will give you a code. I think I have it set up now so you land on the right page as soon as you buy. And you can choose one of my $97 FamilyEbiz courses, and whichever one is most helpful to you, that's my bonus for you this year as far as if you buy BC Stack.
Well, generous.
Well, I want to help them anyway. Well, is there anything else you would like to share before we close, Dan?
No, just appreciate you having me on. If you really like good stories, I'd love for you to come check out Tracing the Path podcast. I mean, if you like listening to cool stuff on the way to work or wherever on a trip, that'd be great.
That's awesome. And I'll get the link and I will share that as well with our audience. And I'm going to share that in my homeschool group too, because they're always looking for.
Oh yeah, they'll love it.
Things. You know, we got like 5,000 of those people at the other group. So anyway, yes. So there we go. At least on Facebook, we got other places. So, well, thank you, Dan, so much. Thanks for putting this together and then making it affordable for people, especially that, you know, are trying to watch their money and use their money wisely. And I'm excited because I know there's some courses in there that I need. The podcasting one for sure. I'm always needing help with that because I need to get started. Anyway, thank you.
All right. Thanks for having me.
All right. Y'all have a good day.
Thanks, everyone.